It happened overnight. Like a thief in the night, the luxury fashion industry had its crown jewels stolen. The once untouchable world of haute couture, of bespoke suits and limited edition handbags, was suddenly on the bargain rack. The price tags that used to make your eyes water were now practically begging you to take them home. The unbelievable had happened. Luxury was now cheaper than your morning coffee. Remember when a Hermes Birkin bag cost more than a small car? When owning a Chanel suit was a status symbol only a select few could afford? Well, forget it. Those days are gone. Now you'll find Birkins being given away as free gifts with purchase at your local grocery store. Chanel suits? You can snag one for less than the price of a movie ticket. The luxury fashion houses, once bastions of exclusivity and prestige, are now scrambling to stay afloat. Their meticulously crafted designs, once coveted by the elite, are now being mass-produced and sold at rock-bottom prices. It's a topsy-turvy world where the rarest diamonds are now the new coal, and a simple cotton t-shirt is the ultimate symbol of luxury. Remember scouring vintage stores for that one-of-a-kind designer piece? The thrill of the hunt, the joy of finding a hidden gem? Well, hold on to your hats because the game has changed. Forget vintage stores. Now you can find Gucci being given away at street corners, piles of Prada handbags spilling out of donation bins, and Chanel suits hanging limply on the racks of your local thrift store. The once exclusive world of luxury has become the new thrifting paradise. Forget rummaging through piles of old clothes. Now you can find designer labels practically being given away. Imagine strolling through a park and stumbling upon a pile of discarded Louis Vuitton luggage, or attending a neighborhood garage sale where a bored housewife is practically begging you to take her collection of Dior dresses off her hands. The irony is palpable. The fashion houses that once thrived on scarcity and exclusivity are now drowning in a sea of their own excess. The very items that were once symbols of wealth and status are now practically worthless. It's enough to make your head spin. Gone are the days when a man's status was measured by the car he drove or the watch he wore. In this new world order, a man's best friend is his Prada backpack. Forget Rolex watches and sports cars, now it's all about the designer backpack. Why? Because in a world where luxury is cheaper than dirt, it's the only way to carry all those free designer goodies you're accumulating. Imagine a world where dog walkers are sporting Valentino jackets and construction workers are hammering nails in Louboutin boots, where school children are carrying their books in Fendi backpacks and grandmothers are using Hermes scarves to dust their furniture. It's a world where luxury has become so ubiquitous, so commonplace, that it's lost all meaning. The old rules no longer apply. The lines between high fashion and everyday wear have blurred beyond recognition. It's a free-for-all, a sartorial freefall where anything goes and nothing is off limits. And as for those once coveted luxury brands, they're just trying to keep up, churning out cheap disposable fashion at a breakneck pace. The world of haute couture, once the pinnacle of fashion, has fallen from grace. The elaborate gowns, the intricate embroidery, the meticulous tailoring, all reduced to mere remnants of a bygone era. The red carpets, once graced by stars draped in the finest designer creations, are now a sea of discount designer dresses, hastily snatched up at bargain basement prices. Remember the gasp-inducing price tags of those couture gowns, the ones that cost more than a house? Well, now you can find them at your local flea market, crumpled and forgotten amidst piles of discarded clothing. The designers who once catered to royalty and the ultra-rich are now fighting for scraps, their once exalted status reduced to that of common street vendors. The fall from grace has been swift and brutal. The fashion houses that once dictated the trends are now desperately trying to keep up, churning out cheap imitations of their own iconic designs. The irony is palpable. The very things that once set them apart, their craftsmanship, their exclusivity, their sky-high prices, are now the very things that are dragging them down. In this topsy-turvy world where the value of luxury has been turned on its head, a new set of luxuries has emerged. Forget diamonds and pearls. Now it's all about the simple things in life. A hand-knitted sweater, a home-cooked meal, a moment of peace and quiet. These are the new status symbols. Diamonds, once the ultimate symbol of wealth and status, are now practically worthless. They're the new coal, literally and figuratively. People are tripping over them in the streets, using them to pave their driveways, even throwing them away. The real treasures are the things that money can't buy. Time, connection, authenticity. It's a world where the less you have, the richer you are. Where minimalism is the new maximalism, and experiences are valued over possessions. A world where true luxury lies not in what you own, but in who you are and how you live your life. Remember money? That thing we used to use to buy things? Well, in this new world order, money is so last season. The new currency is bartering. Got a spare loaf of bread? Trade it for a Birkin bag, have a few extra eggs? That'll get you a Chanel suit. It's a throwback to a simpler time, when people traded goods and services based on their needs and resources. The luxury fashion houses, desperate to get rid of their surplus stock, are happy to accept anything in exchange. A bag of potatoes, a dozen eggs, a hand-knitted scarf, it's all good. The irony is delicious. The fashion houses that once catered to the wealthiest clientele are now reduced to bartering with the common folk. It's a humbling experience, to say the least. But hey, at least they're getting rid of their inventory. So, what's become of the once mighty luxury fashion houses in this strange new world? Well, let's just say they've seen better days. Their opulent headquarters are now crumbling ruins, their once gleaming storefronts are boarded up, and their designers are reduced to scavenging for scraps to create their next masterpieces. The brands that once dictated the fashion world are now struggling to survive, their names whispered in hushed tones like ghosts of a glorious past. The irony is palpable. The very things that once made them so successful, their exclusivity, their high prices, their unattainability, are now the very things that have led to their downfall. It's a cautionary tale, a reminder that nothing lasts forever, not even luxury. The fashion industry, like everything else, is cyclical. What goes up must come down, and in this case it has come down hard. So there you have it. The unbelievable has happened. Luxury fashion is now cheaper than your daily coffee. But before you rush out to buy yourself a closet full of designer duds, take a moment to consider the bigger picture. What does this all mean? Is this the democratization of luxury, or is it the death knell of an industry that thrived on exclusivity? Is it a good thing that luxury is now accessible to the masses, or has it lost its meaning altogether? These are the questions we must ask ourselves as we navigate this strange new world. One thing's for sure, the world of luxury fashion will never be the same again. The old rules no longer apply. The game has changed, and we're all just trying to keep up. So, do you think you can afford luxury now?